Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Starting to see some of the clouds breaking up over the local area, and there's light rain showers pushing further off the coast. Otherwise, still a slight breeze, and temperatures climbing into the 60s. Should see a mild weather day ahead with some breezy conditions, and looks like we'll see more in the way of some sunshine as we move into the afternoon, but still looking at some active weather moving into the area this evening with some showers pushing through later this evening, as well as a chance for some embedded thunderstorms and possibly even a stronger storm, as the Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk for severe weather this evening. So overall, active weather pushing through, and then behind that we'll see a few cooler days behind that front that pushes through this evening. So looking at the current surface analysis, area of low pressure well to the north. Trailing to the south of that is that cold front that will be pushing through later on this evening, bringing that shower activity. Then high pressure will build in briefly behind that to our north. It's going to turn those winds onshore as we move through the middle of the week, more so into the day on Wednesday. Looking at the upper level winds from this morning, sounding southwesterly winds pretty much through the entire column, seeing winds 25 to 35 knots, and then reaching our peak wind of 40 knots to 25,000 feet. Freezing level this morning was at 11,100 feet. If we take a look at the current visible satellite and radar, we can see some light reflectivity just off the coast here. Again, that's tracking away from the coast. Expecting dry conditions as we move through our working hours today, and as mentioned, does look like those clouds have broken up quite a bit off to the west, so expecting a bit more in the way of sun than what we were expecting earlier this morning, so it's going to allow those really mild temperatures and destabilize that atmosphere a bit ahead of that shower activity moving in later this evening. So if we look at the high resolution model, see how that plays out. Again, dry conditions expected as we move through the day today, mostly to partly cloudy during the afternoon. Things looking fairly quiet through our working hours today, other than some breezy winds that will develop a decent chance of seeing a wind advisory as we get into the afternoon time frame. And then moving into the evening, a very slight chance of an isolated shower passing after 16 local around the area, but most likely won't see any rain moving into the area until we get past the 20 local time frame, and becoming likely as we pass 22 local here. As you can see, the simulated reflectivity indicating some pretty strong pockets of reflectivity here, with that chance for some of those heavier rain showers or possibly a thunderstorm pushing through, and again possibly that stronger thunderstorm with that slight risk for severe weather. That's going to push through during the overnight time frame, and as we pass the 2 a.m. time frame, a lot of that storm threat will be pushing off the coast with still some lingering showers around until about 4 to 6 a.m. in the morning before the remainder of that shower activity pushes out of the area. We'll see those winds shifting out of the northwest, remaining breezy as we move through the first part of the day on Tuesday, and we'll start to see those clouds clearing out of the area as well. Tuesday does look dry, but on the breezy side, particularly early, and we'll see those weakening winds as we go through the day and into the evening. Continuing to see clear conditions and cooler conditions Tuesday evening, as those winds will slowly start to shift out of the northeast to easterly winds as we get into the start of the day on Wednesday, and then becoming more southeasterly as we move through the day on Wednesday. Setting up for that onshore flow is going to continue to help keep things on the cooler side as we move through the day Wednesday. Zooming out, looking at the longer term forecast here with the European model. Again, that area of high pressure to the north, keeping that onshore flow through the day on Wednesday. And then we'll see return to southerly winds late Wednesday and moving into the remainder of the week. That's going to once again bring back some milder temperatures to end the work week, and this boundary off to the northwest looks to sink southward as we get towards the end of the week, and that's really going to determine where we end up temperature-wise as we move into the weekend. European model kind of stalls it just to our north, and that's going to keep things mild moving through the day on Friday. And it does look like we'll remain dry until Friday evening, where we see that boundary sinking southward, bringing a chance for some shower activity during the PM time frame. And that boundary continues to linger as we move into Saturday, possibly keeping some showers around, and mild temperatures as that starts to lift north moving into Sunday, and then another area of low pressure tracking to our north looks to bring a boundary through late on Sunday, possibly bringing another round for some shower activity. So uh, end of the week and weekend forecast still looks to be a little variability there depending on where that boundary stalls out and how that progresses through the weekend, but it does look like we'll see possibly some cooler temperatures if that boundary pushes through a bit sooner, and some steady rain chances on and off as we move through the weekend. Is the way things are looking, at least at this time. But looking at 24-hour weather risk for today, yellow risk for winds this morning increasing to an orange risk as we get into the afternoon time frame. As mentioned, a good chance of seeing a wind advisory with those peak winds out of the south, 10 to 15 knots, gusting up to 26 knots. We'll see mild temperatures today, expecting a high around 72 degrees, and we have adjusted the TAF here, looking at a chance of seeing some partly cloudy conditions through the afternoon, again helping to keep those conditions mild but breezy. Moving into the late afternoon and evening time frame, we'll see clouds on the increase becoming overcast, start to pick up that yellow risk for a slight chance of an isolated shower, but again that better risk comes as we pass the 20 local time frame, increasing to a red risk for precip through the 4 a.m. time frame, and do have an orange risk for lightning through that time frame as well, starting off with a 25% chance after 20 local, increasing to a 50% chance after 22 local, and yellow risk for those reduced ceilings and visibilities with that activity. Again, good chance of those showers pushing through and some thunderstorms embedded with that, and potential for a stronger thunderstorm with that activity. Again, slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center for severe weather, so I can't rule out a stronger storm with potentially some stronger wind gusts moving through. And then northwesterly winds as we get into the start of the day on Tuesday, still gusting up to 25 knots, so keeping that orange risk for that wind advisory criteria, but we'll start to see those clouds clearing out of the area. Tides are running normal, and looking at the extended forecast here, breezy to slightly breezy through the day on Tuesday, possibly seeing that wind advisory linger through part, if not all of the day on Tuesday. Cooler temperatures with a high of 59 degrees. 40 degrees for our low Tuesday evening, and staying with a high around 59 for Wednesday, as we'll keep that onshore flow helping to keep things cooler, slightly breezy. It does look like we'll stay below wind advisory criteria for Wednesday at this time, but just below that, so could see a few peaks reaching up to 25 possibly during the day on Wednesday. Increasing clouds as we move into Thursday and Friday, with milder temperatures return to southerly flow, breezy on Thursday with a high of 74 degrees, high of 76 as we move into Friday. Again, could see that change depending on where that stalled boundary sets up over the area, but it does look like we'll see a chance of showers for the PM time frame on Friday, looking about 40% chance at this time. And then moving through the weekend, keeping temperatures fairly mild in the upper 60s to around 70s, low temperatures in the mid 50s, and keeping daily chances of rain for Saturday and Sunday as we continue to narrow down how that how that boundary lifts out of the area and that next system pushes through. That's going to wrap up the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again tomorrow at 8:15 and 10 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your day.